Please rise for a pledge of the flag. Please stand for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 21st, 2018. Copy of the schedule is noted on the bulletin board. It should be so posted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson. Here. Councilman Ficarra. Here. Councilwoman Drum. Here. Councilman Small. Here. Councilwoman Meehan. Here. Councilman Patel. Here. Councilman Bauer. Here. Vice President De Jesus.
Here.
And President Spiller.
Here.
And a motion to approve the minutes from September 17th.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances, starting with letter A, an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of property known as tax block E67 lot 1.011, which is located in a redevelopment area. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only.
Good evening, everybody. John Vertari, Woodridge. Just what's the address of the property and what part of it? There's quite a few lots over here. What part of the township or what town is that located?
This is located on Broadway Avenue in Avenel. It's adjacent to the Woodbridge Developmental Center property. It's a piece of Conrail property that the administration of the township is...
It's all Conrail property or is it part of the
no,
resident?
it's Conrail property.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on letter A only? Hearing other comments, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is amendment to Chapter 22 entitled Flood Damage Prevention, the revised general ordinance of the Township of Woodridge. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Listed before you are first reading ordinances. They're lettered C, D, E, and F. Can I get a motion that these ordinances be taken up on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on October 11, 2019. Notice of public hearing to be held on October 29, 2019 at 7 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We also have listed before you resolutions 1 through 36. Can I get a motion to approve 1 through 36 by consent?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. We'll now move to the public portion of the meeting. Please approach the microphone if you like. State the area of the township you live in, and there is a 5-minute time period.
I guess it's me again, John Vertari, Woodridge over here. I know it's just coincidence or something. The last couple of months, a couple of meetings, the mayor always comes over here and represents what the council people are doing during the 2 weeks period between the meeting to the meeting, attending certain events, opening of the businesses, and all kinds of things which is a part of the, I always thought it was their job to do it. I mean, myself over the years, I asked the council people to come to my opening my businesses, they will show up. And of course, there's good times, and then there's a think about it. My question would be, I know it's a lot of beverages, food, and of course, alcohol. And just recently, I remember there was a certain part of the township that somebody was reprimanded because they had drinking alcohol at the job. And I'm sure when new people, council people, like most of us, people would go have a drink over there. So my question would be directly, if employees of that, which you are still employees of the township, if employees that work for the township, I'm talking about from schools to custodians or maybe anything part of, they're not allowed to drink on a job. And when you do those things, you attend those things, you are actually working. And I understand, and I've seen it myself, that we do have our drinks when we go to those places. And I don't mean myself as that I'm not in politics, but you people do have our drinks at certain of those events. Does it make any difference that you're allowed that they are not?
I'm sorry, Mr. What exactly is the question?
My question is, when you go to those things, do you have a drink?
The special events. I think that and the mayor wants to address it, the reason why he brings up the council events is not so much for you to know what we are doing. We're not in it for the limelight, but to show all the different organizations, events, businesses that are having these events in the township, and to bring light to everything they're going. If you want.
There are very, very few public events that have anything to do with alcohol. I'm mayor 24/7, 365. The council's the council 24/7, 365. What you're saying is we can't have a drink if we go out with our spouse for dinner. I'm still the mayor. I'm still on duty. They're still councilmen. They're still on duty. There's so few events that have anything to do with liquor. That's just, you're just looking for trouble here.
Can I
The beer
make a
fest, what else? The chili cook-off is at Biddings. The beer fest is a beer fest, but the vast majority of town events have absolutely nothing to do with alcohol.
But I mean, when you do...
Just 1 second, sorry. Council Vice President DeJesus.
Yeah, I take great offense in that because a lot of the things, or a lot of the events that we do during the day, there's no alcohol involved. A lot of the things that we do with the children. So you just made an assumption that every event that we go to, there's alcohol. And that is the wrong thing to say because that's not true.
No, I'm not. It's not wrong to say.
That's the assumption that's what you're implying, that every event that we go to, there's alcohol involved.
I didn't mean you. I meant that it does
No,
anybody.
but I'm not talking about me. I'm saying that the statement,
Council Vice President is addressing.
the statement that you just made, you said that all of the events that we go to, there's alcohol involved. That's what you're implying in the statement that you made. You weren't clear. You said every event that we go to. And that is the wrong implication to make, because that is not true.
I don't think I've said every event, but I know when you have opening the businesses, for example, there's always food and...
No, there is not. That's a ridiculous statement. There is not always drinks at a
There is.
opening of a
When I had
business.
my openings, I did have alcohol and food.
Good for you.
And you have a stuff...
When's the last time you had an opening? You've been in business forever.
Well, I know there's always Miller Lite. Thank you.
There's not always. No, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Any other comment from the public this evening? Here are no other public comment. Can I get a motion that the public portion of this meeting be closed?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. We're going to break ranks a little bit from the normal order of business. I'm going to call on Speaker Craig Coughlin for a presentation to the We Feed organization.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Council President.
Oh, but that doesn't mean...
Louisa Falk is with me from the Bowl for Hunger committee.
What did he say just got?
And thank you, Council President, thank you, members of the council, mayor, everyone for letting us come and make this presentation. Barcelona is going to join us as well. As well, all of you know, because we've all been there. For the last 10 years, I have sponsored what we've come to know as Bowl for Hunger. The mayor thinks it ought to be Bowl Against Hunger. Maybe one of these days he'll convince me. And the goal of that was to raise money for the food pantries throughout the 19th Legislative District. This year we had another successful year. We had about 600 bowlers, I believe. We raised about $43,000. And a good time was had by everyone. I think it's an event that has taken on a sort of a life of its own because it's a place where you can go, you can bowl, and everybody can manage to get the ball down the lane. You can wear shorts, you get a T-shirt. You're with friends, and some businesses have now begun to use it as a team building effort. I've been joined by Louisa and many other people who have served on the committee from the beginning. The Middlesex Water has been a sponsor. It was Perth Amboy's hospital, but now it's Meridian Health, Hackensack Meridian, thank you. And of course, Woodbridge's own Chamber of Commerce, who have been great supporters of the event over the past year. And so today, it gives, I'll let Louisa talk in just a second, but it gives us great privilege and pleasure to bring up Peter Barcelona, as all of you know, or ought to know, and for you at home, you ought to know. This is a man who truly makes a difference in Woodbridge Township. He leads the We Feed organization, the umbrella organization for the 10 food pantries in Woodbridge Township, and is as dedicated and committed a person to alleviating hunger as you could possibly find. So, Louisa, would you like to make the presentation?
Yes, I would. So, Peter, on behalf of Bowl for Hunger 2019, we'd like to present a check for $10,000 to you.
Thank you. Yes, I just, on behalf of the food pantries that I have the privilege of serving every day, We Feed, we are a network of 11 food pantries altogether, collectively. We serve over 600 families per month for the food insecurities that are in Woodbridge Township. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the generous donation. I was there, I've been there since the beginning with Bowl for Hunger 10 years ago. It's a great event. If you haven't, come out next year. It's also brings awareness to food insecurities in the 19th district as well as throughout the state. And Mr. Mayor always is there behind us. We Feed, committing the township resources every day to our food pantries to make sure that our residents in Woodbridge have the basic needs of what they need, which is food at that point. So nobody should go hungry. I always say it takes a town to feed a town. And so everything that we do reflects back on the administration and the speaker. And the donation like this here will allow us, we'll split this money amongst our food pantries. They'll use that money at the community food bank in Hillside, purchase food at a very low reduced rate. They'll use it for perishables, dairy products, meats, and other products. They'll use it for gift cards for families that have special needs diets. So the money is utilized in a wonderful way. This is a tremendous amount of help. Thank you very much. Thank you.
One more second. When Peter talks about the enormity of the test, let me just put a little bit of perspective of that. Every day in New Jersey, about 900,000 people face food insecurity. About 280,000 of them are children. So when we go home, Coughlins are very lucky. We decide not whether we're going to eat, but what, and oftentimes, more oftentimes than not, where. All of us who are so fortunate have a duty, I think, to give back. Peter actually does it in such a great way. You and the people that who are part of the food pantries, they really, truly do God's work. So thank you for that, Peter. Thank you for all you do. And let's think about those people the next time we sit down to have something to eat. Thank you all very much.
Let's do a commercial for the Castacan.
Okay.
Good. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, just so everybody's aware, on Election Day, this is about our, I'm not even sure, 7th or 8th annual Cast a Vote, Cast a Can. So on Election Day, we'll have boxes in all your polling places. So kindly, when you come to vote, bring a canned good, box of goods, glass, whatever. And we have high school kids in all 3 of our high schools, which are out in our polling places. We'll be picking up that food, bringing it back to the health center. The next day on Wednesday, that food goes right to our food pantries. It's very simple. Cast a vote, cast a can. It's harmless. We'll do the work. The kids will do the work. And we just ask for your support in cast a can, cast a vote.
If I can have all the council members come up too, please. Come on, I'll be right in here. Thank you very much.
That's so good.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, great job, Speaker Coughlin, Mr. Barcelona, your team, for such a great organization. Now I'd like to call on the mayor for our bi-weekly council agenda report. Please, sir.
Thank you, Council President. I want to mention that part of the reason why I do this is because I think it's appropriate for me as a mayor to thank the council versus you talking about everything you did. It's much more appropriate, I think, if the mayor tells people what you did rather than you take the credit yourself. So starting with Council President Cory Spiller, like many of you, attended the street fair, the Central Jersey Beer Fest in Parker Press Park, which raised, I think, about, Deb, $14,000 for the family of Elijah Patino, who's the young man from Ford's, who's got a incredibly rare disease. The PTO Oktoberfest, the Hispanic Festival, that also toured the future site of the Scout Camp at Ernie Orrow's Preserve. Councilwoman Vice President Lisbeth De Jesus was very active, especially this past weekend. The annual Hispanic Heritage Festival at Parker Press was Saturday. It was a huge success. She also went to Judy Drive, where we had a session where people could come to get their permit parking. As you know, we passed an ordinance that said non-residents cannot park overnight in the parking lots that we provided for the residents of Judy Drive. There were non-residents parking there, and our residents had nowhere to park, so we passed that ordinance, and Lisbeth was there helping with the event, especially interpreting for some of the people who were non-English speaking. Councilwoman Meehan with the monthly Coffee with Debbie at the Senior Center. She also attended a Municipal Alliance meeting, which of course does a whole lot of things with our township about the whole drug epidemic. Councilwoman Drum was very active, helping with the Mayor's Chamber of Commerce breakfast at the Country Club, which of course she works there as her full-time job. Also, Councilman Small, Patel, and Bauer were there. Nancy was at the meet and greet for Northfield Bank, the chili cook-off as a judge at Dr. Galkin's orthodontist office, the Beer Fest. She attended the Union Fire Department retirement dinner, the Girl Scout Camporee Fun Run, the Rebuilding Warriors concert at Moby Dixon Seawarren, and Women's Health Day, and the Frank Gagnon Fishing Derby yesterday, where I think his name is Michael Dowling, won it for the 5th year in a row. This kid won it as a pre-K kid, a kindergarten kid. He won it in the 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. We got his secret about what the bait he uses, but I'm not going to repeat it. But literally, this kid won every year, 5 years in a row. It's totally uncanny. Councilman Anderson was honored at the Viva or Vale La Peña Boy Scout event a couple of weeks ago at the Armory in Perth Amboy. It's quite an honor. He shared it with his freeholder, Kenny Armwood. It was a terrific night, and we were all very proud to be there to support Kyle for his public service. Also, the football and cheerleading Tricky Tray fundraiser at Woodbridge High School. Greg Ficara, as the wellness and health advocate, coordinated the 30-mile Tour de Woodbridge bike tour through all 10 towns. He also toured the site of the future Boy and Girl Scout camp in Avenel, went to the Rebuilding Warriors concert, helped clear a trail around the pond at National Public Lands Day at Orrow's Preserve, and was at the Fishing Derby also, and the hydrocephalus awareness fundraiser at the mini golf course at the Community Center. Councilman Small helped coordinate the National Public Lands Day, which is literally a national effort. We did the Garden for the Blind in Island, Pelsman Park in Avenel, Shaughnessy Park in Colonia, and the Orros Wildlife Preserve, as I said, in Avenel. Councilman Patel was at the Garba Indian Folk Dance Festival organized by the JFK High School National Honor Society, and was at the Candlelight Vigil at the Gurudarwa Sikh Temple in Port Reading for the Texas police officer who was killed in the line of duty last week. Councilman Howie Bauer represented all of us at the Our Lady of Peace Knights of Columbus Shield Award program in Fords, and also attended the Rebuilding Warriors concert, the Central Jersey Biddings Beer Fest, and the Gagnon Fishing Derby. So it was a busy week for our council. Thank you very much for all that you did.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe you have
Yeah, if I could, we have a lot going on with our school district, and they are in the process of trying to get a referendum for next year, either in March or June. And I'd like to just read the cover of the newsletter and get it into the record. The Township of Woodbridge recently purchased 2 parcels of property in the Avenel section of town, the 54-acre site of the former Woodbridge Developmental Center for $5 million, and an adjacent 9-acre piece of property from Conrail for $2 million. Recognizing the need for warehouse space in our area, and recognizing that warehouses provide jobs and significant tax revenue without being a burden on our municipal or school budgets, we went through a competitive process to obtain a developer for that site. 16 responses were received, and the town is now in negotiations with the selected developer, and we expect to close title to the parcels in the very near future. We insisted that the site be any combination of commercial, educational, or healthcare-related uses with a specific ban on residential development. The selected developer has an option to purchase the premier die-cast site in front of the property on Rahway Avenue. The 6-acre site is a perfect location for a new and larger Avenel School 4 and 5, which is now the oldest school in the town, with limited amenities for recreational use by the students. The developer has agreed to demolish the premier building and clean it up to residential standards and donate it to the town as part of his financial bid package. The plan would include the township donating the parcel to the Board of Ed for the school site. The developer is also in negotiations to purchase other land near the site where the township could potentially have a healthcare facility, which would be a tremendous benefit to residents of not just Avenel, but the entirety of Woodbridge Township. The Township of Woodbridge has a unique relationship with our Board of Education in that we cooperate in ways not seen anywhere in the state of New Jersey. We perform multiple tasks for the board, including custodial functions, computer operations, garbage collection, snow removal, tree trimming, parking lot paving, and many others. The board allows us to use their fields and gyms, and we allow them to use our Woodbridge Community Center ice rink and indoor swimming pool and other recreational facilities. This cooperative relationship directly translates to benefits to our community as a whole. We took that relationship and the resulting community enhancements to a new level from 2013 to 2015 with the passage of 4 ordinances totaling nearly $40 million, which allowed us to construct turf fields for football, soccer, baseball, and softball, outdoor tracks, tennis courts, gymnasium flooring, elementary school playgrounds, auditorium seating, and the theater at Woodbridge Middle School. These improvements benefit not just school children, but the entire Woodbridge Township community, which utilizes the facilities. Also, because of these very successful economic development initiatives, we supported a $57 million school district referendum in 2017, which provided funding for a new Ross Street School, a major renovation to Woodbridge Middle School, a total rehabilitation of St. Cecilia's School to house the students of Kennedy Park School 24, which is now Oak Tree Road School 29, and which allowed the district to implement the much-needed full-day kindergarten program, plus a major investment in school security and new technology. This referendum passed overwhelmingly as township residents clearly support our school district. The township is responsible for the debt service on our bond ordinances, and we agreed to pay the debt service on the bonds related to the referendum. But new businesses in Woodbridge are the source of the funds used to pay principal and interest on the bonds and not our taxpayers. We have been able to attract warehouses, power plants, and other companies to Woodbridge by typically offering a 15 to 20% discount on property taxes through a pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes, because these companies clean up brownfield sites, improve the aesthetics of their properties, and offer hundreds of jobs to our residents. While many people think that pilots mean these companies do not pay property taxes, nothing is further from the truth. Pilots offer a tax discount, not an abatement, but they are not allocated like a regular property tax bill. Without these incentives, the companies would not come to Woodbridge, and we would be collecting minimal taxes on vacant land or empty buildings. By law, the township keeps 95% of the revenues collected from these properties, and nothing is legally required to be shared with the Board of Education. Nevertheless, the township has always dedicated more than 25% of the monies from pilots to the school district. Woodbridge will realize hundreds of millions of dollars from these projects over the next 25 years, and we act responsibly by helping the Board of Education improve their facilities. The financial windfall from a warehouse, probably a $1+ million square foot warehouse, on the site of the 2 parcels purchased by the township in Avenel, will be enough to totally support another referendum, as I said, in March or September of 2020, in the amount of $87 million. The township expects to receive a sizable but still not finalized cash payment, plus nearly $100 million in revenues through the pilot program over the next 30 years. That one warehouse project will provide enough funding to pay for principal and interest on $87 million in school bonds, resulting in an enormous boost to our school infrastructure at no cost to our property taxpayers. The money will be used for a new school 4 and 5, estimated at $35 million, with an additional capacity of 150 students, plus major additions to other schools. 2 schools that currently have separate buildings will be connected into one structure. STEM labs will be constructed in our 5 middle schools. Computer technology will be enhanced. Interior improvements, including air conditioning, will be replaced or added to many schools. But the most important element of this massive undertaking will be the commitment of millions of dollars to school security. Nothing is more important than the safety of our children, faculty, and staff when they are on school grounds. The school district and the Woodbridge Police Department will review security procedures used nationwide to determine the best practices and implement those in Woodbridge. Aid from the state of New Jersey will likely be sizable, though it is specifically unmeasurable at this time until formal plans are submitted. It's not out of the question, however, that approximately $10 million of the $87 million will be paid for by the state. The new warehouse will not be a burden to the residents of Avenel, as all trucks leaving this site will be required to go straight to the New Jersey Turnpike at Interchange 12 and Carteret, and they will not be permitted to turn right onto Rahway Avenue to enter into Woodbridge. It should be noted that our purchase of the Woodbridge Developmental Center site proved to be fortuitous, because in 2017, the state of New Jersey advanced plans to house a prison for boys on approximately 7 acres of that site. Such an action by the state would have wrecked any plans to develop the property and been a huge detriment to all that the township has been doing in the Avenel section, including Station Village, the Avenel Performing Arts Center and Curtains Restaurant, the redevelopment of multiple parcels on Route 1, including Mom's Diner, the Gem Motel, the Star Motel, the Woods Apartments, and several other unsightly structures that are now a thing of the past, plus the Greens at Avenel housing complex for residents with developmental disabilities. There is a saying that a community is known by its schools, and we as the officials of Woodbridge Township want to make sure that the physical infrastructure of our school system is the best it can be. We help our school district because it is the right thing to do. The whole community benefits from great schools, and we do not worry about who pays for what, as long as the end result is something that's good for all of Woodbridge Township. One warehouse can take our school district to the next level. One warehouse that will provide jobs to our residents with no noticeable impact to our community. One warehouse that will generate the revenues to impact each and every school in our district. We paid $7 million for land and turned it into $87 million for our schools. We kept an unwanted development from happening. We prioritized the safety of our children. We worked with our fellow elected and administration officials from our Board of Education for the last 6 years to ensure that Woodbridge Township remains the best town around. Thank you very much, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank you for that very informative, detailed synopsis of the plan moving forward. You get a lot of times residents like to post things on social media that aren't false. They like to come to the meetings and they throw out words like pilots, and they don't know what a pilot is if it's done properly, which the administration has done properly for years now. It is a valuable resource to not only the township as well as the school district. We're building a 4th school. I said this several meetings ago earlier on in the year. Somebody said, redevelopment brings in children. And we always said, so what? So it brings in children. Are we supposed to be afraid of children? We welcome children. We have an Oak Tree Road school, in addition to Woodbridge Middle School, the brand new larger Ross Street School, and soon the larger brand new state-of-the-art Avenel Street School. You show me any township, city, borough, anywhere in the state that's going to build 4 schools at no taxpayer hit. Nobody's doing it. So thank you very much. And as I've said this long before, I've sat on council. I'm the council person representing Avenel. Everyone knows I'm the fire official for Avenel. I'm a parent of the kids that go to 4 and 5. I went to 4 and 5 30 years ago. All right, maybe 40, but nobody has to know that. I can't tell you how excited talking to the fellow parents, the teachers. I've had parents say they're actually thinking about maybe having another child just so they can have a kid go to the brand new 4 and 5. But I can say thank you very much. We'll now move to the agenda portion of the meeting. My agenda is in order. Just one quick thing on Avenel Fire Department number 9. It's Fire Prevention Week. It's always Fire Prevention, let's face it, but specifically it's Fire Prevention Week this week. Avenel Fire Department will be hosting their annual Fire Prevention Open House this Saturday, October the 12th from 10 to 1. Come on down to the Avenel Firehouse located at 346 Avenel Street. We'll have Sparky, we have the smokehouse, we have the trailer, the tent, inflatables, goodies. I always have smoke detectors, carbon monoxide fire extinguishers to give out. A really nice event. This whole week we have fire prevention events throughout the town, so if you get the chance, please come by. The rest of my agenda is in order. Council Vice President DeJesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just want to make an announcement. Barron Fest is this Saturday, October 12th at Parker Press from 12 to 4:30. You'll be able to see original works of pottery, paintings, glasswork, ceramics, photography, and so on. Again, it's over 50 artists and crafters. October 12th, this Saturday from 12 to 4:30. And I just want to thank everybody that was involved in making the Hispanic Heritage Festival a successful event. The Woodbridge High School Choir, the JFK High School Choir, the Woodbridge Police Department, Woodbridge Public Works and Parks, the Woodbridge Rec Department, Vito, Brian, and especially Eileen, the Woodbridge Health Department, the Woodbridge Public Library, BCB Bank, Dr. Galkin, Dr. Herrera, who is a new pediatrician in Hopeland, and all the artists that provided the music, the entertainment, and the food vendors. Again, thank you for your support, all the council members that came and stopped by, all the other officials that came and stopped by. The goal for the Hispanic Heritage Festival is to inform and break the stereotypes of the Hispanic community. It was my intention from the beginning. It continues to be my intention, and every year it's the goal to break down stereotypes and introduce people to the Hispanic culture. Again, thank you everyone that was involved in making it a successful event. I really appreciate it. That is all that I have.
Thank you, and I just want to congratulate you and commend you on it yet again. A fantastic event. I was only there for a short period with the kids, but it looked like it had a great crowd. So
Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you. I just have an announcement tonight. This coming Sunday, we're going to be doing our 3rd annual Inman Avenue Breast Cancer Walk. We'll start out at School 21. We're lining up at 11 o'clock. We'll walk. We're leaving at 11:30. We'll do a few laps around the school. We're going to do it on the sidewalk this year as to not disrupt the businesses on Inman Avenue. After we walk down 21, we're going to go down to Charlie Shaughnessy Park, and we will have a pink barbecue down there from 12 to 2. All our proceeds this year is going to a mom with 2 young children. Her name is Lorraine Montero, and she was a dispatcher for Forest Fire Department for quite some time. So if you can come out, put on your pink, support all of the warriors that fight breast cancer, we'd really love for you to come. It's $10 a person, and we hope to see you there. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilwoman Drum.
Thank you, Council President. There's a trunk or treat on downtown Main Street on Saturday, October 26th. The event is from 1:30 to 3:30, and you must register at register.communitypass.net/Township of Woodbridge. This is a free event, and it's for residents only. There'll be a costume contest in the Town Hall parking lot after the trick-or-treating is down along Main Street. For the scariest, funniest, and most original costumes. So we hope to see you there. The Chamber of Commerce has planned their annual Chairman's Awards dinner on Wednesday, October 16th at the Delta Hotel. The last day to purchase tickets is this Wednesday. If you're interested, you can contact the Chamber. There will also be a silent auction, as well as honoring of many of our community leaders, including Debbie Meehan from the Woodbridge Corner, Valence, Goldman, and Spitzer, Marta Darden, our Director of Planning and Redevelopment, Mulberry Street Restaurant, Paula Gruda, Barbara Zanzalari, Century 21, the Woodbridge Elks, Daniel Dunn from the American Legion Post 87, and our wonderful artist that paints our murals, Kimberly Sadigian. Thank you.
That's what I think.
I believe she's out of Woodbridge High School. So hopefully, we'll have your support. It's a great event. Well, very well attended. So tickets are $100 each if you'd like to attend. The Woodbridge Fire Department Prevention Open House is on Wednesday, October 9th from 5 to 8. If you can't get there, there are some safety tips that you can visit on their website, woodbridgefireprevention.org. There's also an Elks Breakfast fundraiser for the fire department on Sunday, October 20th from 8 to 11 a.m. I just wanted to shout out to the breakfast committee at the Woodbridge Elks. They're such a dedicated, hardworking group of members at the Elks who do all these breakfasts to service our community, all the sports leagues and all the community organizations so that they can fundraise. And I just wanted to say thank you to them for all their efforts. And this past Friday night, there was an IAFF Local 290 retirement party and celebration of their 90th anniversary. So I'd like to congratulate the retirees and thank you to all of our community of brave firefighters and ones that sit on the dais with me as well. Thank you. And one announcement, the Ghost Walk will take place on Saturday, October 12th and Saturday, October 19th. I'm sure, I don't know if Councilman Bauer is going to talk about that as well. There's so much going on in town for the Halloween festivals and things of that nature, so you could check out our website for any more events or details. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jones. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. I only have 2 announcements tonight. We have the Halloween Hayride at Parker Press Park, October 24th from 6:30 to 8:30, and that is a free event, and that is for township residents. And we also have our movie night, our Halloween movie night, which will be October 27th at the Woodbridge Community Center. The lot opens at 5:30. The movie starts at dusk. That is October 27th. October 27th. And prior to that, there will be the trunk or treat from 1:30 to 3:30.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Ficarra.
Thank you, Council President. Just a quick announcement over at the Woodbridge Community Center. A couple of big events going on Saturday, October 26th. There's a free fitness class, demos. You can actually sample the class. It's open to non-members. October 27th, there's a holiday skate. And also a reminder to parents, when there is no school for whatever reason, there are no school camps at the community center. Both the community center and the club at Woodbridge have their fall events out, so it's easy for you to see it, or you can go to njwcc.com, NewJerseyWoodbridgeCommunityCenter.com. And then a special thank you. We had our Tour to Woodbridge bike tour, the 12th annual. A big thank you goes out to Jeff Marmestein from the community center. Has been the tour director all 12 years. He asked me to extend thank you out to our police department, and our council, Eric Lang, was our contact for the scouts that assisted the tour this year, and the scouts were out and did a magnificent job. Jeff had his committee at the registration area, Tony Fiore, Joe Marin, and Salita Del Pupolo. So a special thank you goes out to all of them. And then just one final thing, over on Fulton Street here at Woodbridge, we have our brand new rain garden that is absolutely amazing. It looks sharp, it's functional, it takes the water and protects us from flooding. So congratulations goes out to our staff that put that all together. The green team.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Ficarra. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President. Number 3 on my agenda, this Saturday, Port Reading Open House, Port Reading Fire Prevention Open House, also Port Reading Day from 12 to 3 at the Port Reading Firehouse. There's food, games, exhibitions, giveaways, just an all-out good day for Port Reading residents, but all township residents are more than welcome to stop by. Number 12, National Public Lands Day. I would like to thank Director Samaluka, Deputy Director Molnar, and Eileen Caggiano from the Rec Department. International Martial Arts, Wildlife Commission, and some volunteers that cleaned up Oros Wildlife Sanctuary. They did the trails, painted the fence, mulched, and added rocks to the gazebo. Garden for the Blind was Rutgers, Woodbridge Garden Club, and Islam Middle School volunteers who mulched and cleaned and planted. And Pelsman Park, the Cheesecake Factory, 2 Girl Scout troops. They cleaned the community garden. So thank you to everybody that came out and participated in that. Number 14, Mayor Max Cafe. Mayor Max Cafe at Cypress Center is going to reopen for business with a soft opening next week. The cafe students from the RISE program, Reaching Individual Student Excellence. The special needs students proudly serve as the cafe's hosts, cooks, waiters, and waitresses, and cleanup staff, all by receiving job training in the workplace in preparation for the restaurant and food services industry. The cafe and staffing was made possible through a $45,000 grant from the Kessler Foundation. Come to Mayor Max Cafe, located at the Cypress Recreation Center in Port Reading, 881 West Avenue. And I urge the community to come out and support these young men and women in this program. And finally, we read a resolution earlier today, number 7, and this is going to appear on the ballot in November, and I urge our voters to get out there. And it's to support the referendum on November 5th, so that veterans or widowed veteran spouses of veterans who reside in continuing care retirement communities will be eligible for property tax deduction. So again, I urge you to come out, vote yes on November 5th for that resolution. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Councilman Anderson, I believe you have something.
I did neglect to mention that this Sunday is the Hall of Fame celebration at the Woodbridge Community Center, beginning at 4:30 p.m. 4 p.m.
Pictures are at 4.
4?
Pictures are at 4. I think the banquet starts at 5.
Thank you. Pictures are at 4, banquet starts at 5. You can still get some tickets at the rec center, and they will be accepting, I think we have a few tables for some people that come in at the door. So, but we're encouraging everyone to purchase in advance.
All right, thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Patel.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order, but I have one announcement. There is a widening and resurfacing project on Middlesex Turnpike between Green Street and Merritt Park is going on now. This portion of the street is under the jurisdictions of the Middlesex County, and that project's been there for about last 2 months, and it's about to complete. I had been there at the site a few times, and it looks great. So I would like to thank the mayor, administration, and other departments for coordinating this project with the county. So that's all for tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Patel. Councilman Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have a few announcements tonight. Forest Business Community Trunk or Treat Cruise Night is rescheduled for Monday, October 21st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Sipperstein's Paints, 372 New Brunswick Avenue. Ford's Fire Company Fire Prevention Open House will be tomorrow, Tuesday, October 8th, and Wednesday, October 9th, from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. 667 King George Road in Ford's. Boy Scouts Troop 53, Cub Scout Pack 53, and Pack 26 Girl Cub Scouts will have an open house and registration in conjunction with Ford's Fire Company's open house on the dates and times I mentioned for Ford's Fire Company. Hope Lawn Agent Company #1 Fire Prevention open house is Monday, October 14th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., 127 Loretta Street in Hope Lawn. So for both fire companies, come out and meet your firefighters, see fire trucks, free giveaways, and demonstrations. That's all I have tonight, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bauer. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under number 1, I continue to work with the Police Department on various change of corporate structures and transfers for liquor licenses, those 4 that are noted. Just a couple comments under elections with the general election approaching. Tuesday, October the 15th will be the last day to register to vote. If you're not already registered, you're eligible to do so. And the other item is mail-in ballots. For those of you in the public who applied for a mail-in ballot and have received it, in order for your vote to count, you have to return that. You're not allowed to vote on a machine if you received a mail-in ballot. So please do so. They have to be postmarked no later than election day itself. And as long as they're received within 48 hours of that timestamp, that vote will be counted. And finally, at the end of the meeting, we'll go into a Board of Health meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Senator Bennett.
Thank you, Council President. Be asking for a resolution to be passed to award a bid for the reheat coils here in Town Hall, and the rest of my agenda is housekeeping items which are routine in nature.
Thank you, Senator. Director Hubley.
Thank you, Council President. We're adding 2 handicap parking spaces, removing one that's no longer in use, and we're adding a number of New Jersey Department of Transportation bus stops throughout the township. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Green.
I have nothing for the council agenda tonight. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Director. Director Smulu.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Director. Director Dark.
Thank you, Council President. In addition to our standard biweekly refund resolution, we'll also have our annual community development block grant resolutions for you with those agreements for next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Henry.
Thank you, Council President. I have a release of performance bond guarantee. I have an execution of final change order for the 2018 sanitary sewer cleaning and TV. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Legal.
Nothing to see for Council President.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Mitch.
I can have a motion to go directly into the Board of Health meetings.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Green?
I just have 2 comments regarding the Board of Health agenda. The first is on the animal shelter. I want to acknowledge the support of Amazon. Over the past several months, Amazon has made some significant donations of animal supplies and pet food to the animal shelter, so we really appreciate their donation and support, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. The second and last item is our annual Mayor's Health Expo. That is on October 19th. It's always the third Saturday of October. It's at the Woodbridge Public Health Center between 9 and 12. We'll have Walk with a Doc. We'll have car fits for seniors, wellness on wheels, free health screenings, flu vaccinations. So we encourage everyone to stop by, take advantage of the free health screenings, and there's always free giveaways and other fun stuff. So thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, Council
Thank you,
President.
Greg. Always a great event. Great for all the residents, especially our seniors, and there's a lot of things for our little ones to do as well. So thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Any comments from council? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. So moved.
Meeting adjourned. Have a good night.